with 10 knockouts. Of course, the big story, Nugaev and the layoff. 643 days, a record of 22-6. 3-inch height advantage for the Russian, but yet you see the reach, 69 inches to 68 inches. And that is Rustam Nugaev, 22-6 with 12 knockouts. Hasn't fought in 21 months. Last time out was an 8-round majority decision win back in July of 2011. 20 times he's fought in his home country of Russia. He's 2-0 here in California. Jonathan Maicelo, 29-year-old from Peru, has been training and fighting out of New Jersey. 16-0 with 10 knockouts. 12-0 in Peru, his third fight here in California, and he's never hit the floor. Teddy offers up the fight plan, brought to you by Corona Extra. Beautiful scene there for the fight plan.
How about them bears?
Rustam Nugaev, Jonathan Maicelo.
Except the chief second, Bruce.
Scheduled for
Everybody
10.
except one guy.
And Jack Reese,
Who's the
referee.
chief second? Okay. Gave you instruction in the dressing room. I just want to remind you to listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Scooch me, okay? Fight hard, fight clean. Mouthpiece. Put it in. Mouthpiece. All right. Good luck, fellas.
I think Jack Reese used to be an aspiring dentist. Really, he loves to see those teeth, you know. But one of the better refs actually in the business. You don't see him when you shouldn't see him.
Not in corner. Not in corner. You ready? You ready?
Nugaev was asked recently about his strategy for this fight. He says, "I'll go forward and I'll try to knock him out." Maicelo opens up with a pair of left hands.
Well, Maicelo, first of all, I should say, put a little warning out there. He's been involved in head clashes.
Don't push his head.
You know, we've seen that tonight already a few times. I don't know if we're going to see it in the main event, but there's a chance. Maicelo cut by head clashes in 2 fights. Matter of fact, Nugaev was cut over both eyes only 5 fights ago.
Well-timed right hand from the popular Peruvian.
Both these fighters took the fight on short notice, about 9 days. Most of the fights for Nugaev have been in Russia.
3-punch combination from Maicelo, is able to land that right hand to the body of Nugaev.
Well, Maicelo's going to, again, he's going to be on the outside. He's doing a little fooling around, a little trickery there, but he's going to be on the outside. He's more versatile. He's got those wheels. He can use them a little bit, use the ring, get angles, try to keep Nugaev a little off balance. Nugaev is one-dimensional. What you see is what you get. Yeah, he's tall, he's long, but he doesn't really use that height. He comes in, looks to get in the trenches.
Placing that right hand to the body again was Maicelo. Left hook finished off as Nugaev tries to wave him on, saying, "I can take more."
Maicelo, well, Nugaev is a tough guy. That's the problem. He takes more. You know, part of being a fighter is being tough. Part of it is being smart. And again, Nugaev, he'll give up his height. He'll give up those long arms and just look to get inside and work. The problem is, right now, Maicelo understands that, and he's not letting him get inside to work. Can Maicelo keep it up with this pressure coming at him all night long for 10 rounds? That's the question.
Dug into the body with a left hand there.
See, a lot of choices for Maicelo. He can beat him to the punch, catch Nugaev as he comes in like that. Again, move off to the side, keep him off balance. The one thing that I noticed with Maicelo, he's not really an inside fighter. Nugaev, even though he's got those long arms, Joe, which sometimes does not really suit people to fight inside, he loves to fight in there, where he is now.
Getting his best work of the first round. but we've seen a sharp Jonathan Maicelo throughout this opening stanza. Now on the inside, an exchange. Little up jab there from Maicelo as Nugaev tries to close ground. Good action here in the first round of our main event. Nugaev and Maicelo take a quick break. Been detailing the story all night long. The popularity of Jonathan Maicelo back in his home country of Peru. Butch Sanchez, his trainer, explained it this way. He's like, listen, the guy's got his own clothing line. He did Dancing with the Stars in Peru. He models underwear. I think once you go to your model underwear, we understand the reach and scope of your popularity.
And again, is that a positive or a negative? You know?
I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, but I mean, not just the underwear, but I mean, having that kind of fame before, really you've earned it as a fighter. I mean, it's good for your, definitely good for your bank account. There's no doubt about that. And I want all fighters to have good bank accounts because of the inherent risk in what they do. But is it good for the other dimensions of your career as you're trying to get there?
It's tough for us to understand because we just see him as a guy that's trying to break through.
Well, I think you're going to see him tonight tested. I mean, he won the first round. He's the faster guy. He's got the quicker legs. He's got the ability to do things on the outside. More options, as I like to say. But Nugaev, he's not going anywhere. You know, he's a guy that's old-fashioned. You got to make me believe is his man. That is really his mentality. You know, I'm going to come and see how good you are. And I think before the night's over, we're going to get a better idea of how good Maicelo is in different levels, different dimensions. Not just physically and technically, but in the most important dimension, inside, intensely. Is he a fighter? I think that this opponent, Nugaev, will answer that question.
Standing right there in the kitchen. Free swinging, that time a little wide with that left hand.
I'm going to tell you right now, very early, I'm a little concerned. If I was a back of Maicelo, I'd be a little concerned. And people are going to say, Teddy, my God, it's 1 minute and 22 seconds into the second round. And you could argue that he won the first round and maybe winning this round so far. But that pressure, to me, it almost looks like somebody that's trying to keep the ocean from coming in, and the ocean keeps coming in. That pressure of Nugaev, I just have a sense that Maicelo's feeling it right now. And he's going to feel it more and more as the rounds go by.
And Nugaev standing fearlessly in front, swinging a series of lefts and rights. As Maicelo tries to land that right hand to the body, pops a jab. Nugaev just keeps coming with that pressure.
Yeah, exactly,
Short
Joe.
right hand
And
on the
he's
inside.
getting to the places he wants to be, even though he's got the long arms. I said it at the beginning. He is an inside fighter, and Maicelo really is not.
Landed a squared up left hook that time.
I just looked into the eyes of Maicelo, and you know what I see? I see a guy that has the look like he's seeing something he's never seen before. He's feeling something he's never felt before.
That's a step-up fight here against Nugaev. Even with the layoff of Nugaev, undoubtedly a step up in competition compared to what he's been facing.
And to me, when you get into these dimensions, well, this is when you have to be mentally really strong.
This is shaping up to be a really fine-looking main event. Nugaev, Maicelo. Joe and Teddy with you here at the Chumash Resort and Casino. Rustam Nugaev ready to go out for round number 3. He was sturdy, solid, and consistent coming after Jonathan Maicelo in that second round. Maicelo, the well-hyped, undefeated Peruvian who fights out of New Jersey.
You know, when you get into the kind of fight that this looks like it's lining up to be, you know, a really down and dirty fight where you're going to maybe get some questions asked about yourself that maybe were never asked before. And you're going to have the right answers. When you start to get into that kind of fight, you really need to be mentally in a place where I'm going to overcome no matter what. There's got to be an urgency somewhere in your core to overcome what's coming at you. And to me, that's where I worry a little bit with a guy like Maicelo. We're going to find out, I might be wrong. That has a clothing line, you know, has all the things of success in his home country of Peru already. And does he have to go to that dark place when he maybe gets forced there tonight by Nugaev? Does he have to find a way? Is there an urgency to overcome? Or is there a little bit of a thought, well, I'm okay. You know, I'm protected. I have my clothing line. I have my popularity. I have my success. I don't have to go to that place.
It's a right hand from Maicelo. Comes with another right hand against the Russian Nugaev.
The straighter punches so far, Maicelo. And the right hand has served him pretty good because every once in a while, Nugaev, his punches will get a little round and create a little bit of an opening. Now, if I'm in the corner of Nugaev, I talked about it. You know, we talked about how Maicelo has more versatility, more options, and part of that versatility and options is the ability to use his legs, those wheels. If I'm in the corner of Nugaev, I would have understood that, and I think I'd be going to the body a little more than Nugaev is going. Take some of the air out of those tires of Maicelo, and maybe that pays dividends later in the rounds.
Separate. Box.
You know, when you got a guy moving on you like Maicelo, I get frustrated sometimes with the trainers. You're looking at the guy of his approach here, and look, his game is hell. But what I see missing, and there's a body shot, and I think that he should be doing more of that, but he should be coming in with that jab. He's not using that jab to stabilize Maicelo on the outside enough, although he's having good connect rates right now.
Good action to finish up this round here, right through the bell from Maicelo. We will listen into the corners. It's brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. Rudy Hernandez working with Nugaev. He had success last week with Alvarado against Rios.
Let those body shots go, you understand? Body shots. Then you go to the head. But you gotta put power, understand? You cannot touch. You have to hit.
Don't hold his head. That's all. Don't hold his head when you try.
You cannot, listen. You do not walk only touch. I want you to punch. Hit with power.
Mira, ponga a pelear, al caso, al 60 campeonatos. Vamos. O sea, puede hacer 60 llaves en este asalto. Vamos, que tú quieres, vamos. Eso es lo que... Respírame otra vez. No caigan la mierda de bro, si no está haciendo caso. Vamos, sal. Vamos, con segundo aire, el ritmo otra vez. Whose blood is that?
See in the corner of Maicelo is Angel de Jesus Puig Sanchez, Nelson Fernandez in the corner of Nugaev, Rudy Hernandez, Edward Gamachian, and Dasuki Akabi. Rudy Hernandez, if that name is familiar to you, it should be. He's the brother of the former late world champion, Gennaro Hernandez, who was a terrific world champion, a terrific fighter.
Terrific man, too.
Only a better man, and a terrific friend to everybody here at ESPN. He was one of our comrades and worked with us for years. We miss Gennaro very much.
And as we mentioned, Rudy Hernandez played a big part last week in the fight that you broke down earlier tonight. Mike Alvarado's victory against Brandon Rios.
Well, I see right now that Maicelo is fighting where he doesn't usually find himself having to fight, on the inside more. Usually he's gotten his way on the outside. Tonight he's been forced to do a little bit more stuff inside and maybe stay inside longer than he wants to. And again, there's the guy a good job of catching Maicelo, pulling out with his hands down. Maicelo, from a technical standpoint, he'll make a lot of mistakes. He'll drop his hands. He'll pull straight back with those hands low. You can catch him because of those reasons.
Just getting out of the way that time. There's Nugaev, got real estate in front. Maicelo scores with a right hand.
Look, Nugaev makes his mistakes too, Joe. You know, he's a tall guy. He'll get in there and he'll stand straight up. And when he stands straight up tall, oh, there's a lot to catch.
Yeah, he takes.
You know, there's a lot of...
There's a right hand that comes in from Nugaev, and Maicelo comes back with one of his own.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that destructive, but you're right, he did catch him going back.
Good work rate from both guys here.
Yeah, this isn't much of a boxing match right now. This is more like a Pier 6 brawl. I mean, they're just, maybe they watched the Alvarado Rios fight, and it's rubbing off on them a little bit. Both guys standing right in front.
Just sit back and enjoy it. What a fun fourth round this is between these two. The thudding right hand, Maicelo firing off sharp shots there.
You know, I talked about some of the defensive liabilities, the technical liabilities of Maicelo, and you see it right there, pulling straight back. Watch, his hands down, he's standing in front, gets caught of Maicelo, hands down, pulling straight back. Nugaev with those long arms going with him, making him pay a price.
Look at the CompuBox numbers from that last round as Nugaev threw 101 power punches, landing 39 of them.
I'll tell you where the long arms of Nugaev can mess with Maicelo a little bit and throw him off. When Maicelo pulls back with those hands down, it's a bad habit. You know, it's a habit that needs to be corrected and needs to be corrected in the gym. But when he does it, probably in the past he's been out of range. He's not out of range with Nugaev with those long arms.
Back to the inside they go. Both man landing right hands in that exchange.
I'll tell you what some of the bad news maybe would be for Maicelo, who, although he's shown technical flaws, he's shown terrific heart and an attitude you want to see with a fighter. Not like a spoiled brat. We talked about all his success in Peru, maybe being a little tainted, maybe being a little spoiled, but he hasn't behaved that way so far. He's gotten hit, he's come right back, but to me, he's getting caught more and more, fighting in the geography that suits the Russian Nugaev a little bit better than it suits Maicelo.
Pelea, let him go.
Let's show you where this stood coming into this fifth round. Teddy's scorecard through 4. Had it 2 rounds apiece. You, the viewer at home, you can score along on our Facebook page, the live scoring. Myself, 3 rounds to 1 coming in here to this fifth.
You know, I started to say one of the things that you have to be concerned, I think, from my perspective, with Maicelo is Nugaev came into this fight, Joe, with something that should have been a big hindrance. 1 year and 9 months of inactivity. He had not fought. That's a lot of rust, a lot of potential rust, and right there you see a little bit of showmanship by Maicelo and by Nugaev too. But what I'm saying is, boys, the early rounds should have belonged to Maicelo. It would take a few rounds for Nugaev to get going. He's only going to get better after that 1 year and 9 months. If you didn't win those early rounds really big, you might have a problem as he gets his engine going.
Nugaev landed a right hand following Maicelo back moments ago. Action packed throughout. Here's Todd.
Thank you.
Good to see Golovkin now 26-0, heavy-handed, so entertaining. This main event has been entertaining as we've been highlighting the undefeated Peruvian Jonathan Maicelo in a spirited effort against the sturdy Rustam Nugaev. The 21-month layoff in Nugaev is giving a real test here to the 16-0 fighter.
And again, Joe, you mentioned that 21-month layoff. As I put it, 1 year and 9 months sounds a little longer. But Nugaev, you would figure the early rounds, he's going to be battling that rust a little bit. And you would figure once he does that, the later rounds are going to be better rounds for him. And if that's true, if that's going to play out that way, Maicelo's going to have a difficult time getting to that finish line. Nugaev reminds me of a tall building. I mean, he stands straight up in front of you, and he gives you a chance to go and smash a lot of windows.
It's a 5'10" lightweight. 5'10" to 5'7" is the height difference here from Nugaev to the shorter Maicelo.
Again, I still think that Nugaev, I'm surprised his corner has not, really to me, there's two things I would have concentrated on the fight plan if I'm in the corner of Nugaev. One would have been go to the body, take those legs away from Maicelo, who likes to use those legs, and he's using them a little bit now for defense and to set up offense, to get angles, to get position. But the other thing I'd be doing if I'm in the corner of Nugaev, tell him to use that jab more. You know, there's no better way to stabilize the guy who's on the outside, moving a little bit, boxing, than to use the jab. Right now, Nugaev stabilizing him his own way. Just banging away on the inside, getting Maicelo to lay there more than Maicelo should lay there.
He's had success with the left hand here in the middle of this 6th round. There he goes to the body with the left hand.
Body, and it's a telling punch, Joe. It affected Maicelo. You could see it.
And again, Teddy, he goes to that right flank of Maicelo.
Yeah, I've been waiting for Nugaev to go to the body. He's starting to do that now, and it's really paying for him. It's paying off really well for him. See, now's where I use the jab if I'm Nugaev. Control that outside, take all hope away from Maicelo. Use that jab and keep him from pot shotting. Keep him from navigating around. See, when there's no jab coming in from there's the jab from Nugaev. Very effective.
Teddy, here's the foolproof punch of the night, brought to you by Just for Men.
Which one was it? There's two. One, I'm assuming it was that one.
Right hand by Nugaev in the 4th round, as he has given Maicelo everything he can handle here in our main event as we begin round number 7, scheduled for 10. And just to set the table one more time here, Maicelo comes in as the guy that a lot of people were anxious to see. 16-0, very popular Peruvian fighter. Back in his home country, he's a national celebrity. He's been fighting and training out of New Jersey. This is a step-up fight for him, his U.S. TV debut.
You know, I found it interesting, one of the quotes from Maicelo, you know, he was talking about living in New Jersey. You just talked about it. He says he lives in an apartment with the Cuban Olympian, Eugenius Yugas, and some other fighters. And he said, these were his words, it's like a concentration camp. And then he went on to say, on weekends, I go spend time with my wife and son. You know, I hate to tell him, but in concentration camps, you usually don't get allowed to go out and spend time with your wife and son.
May want to choose his words a little differently here. The action picks up in the midst of round 7. As Maicelo trying to show that head movement, but he got clipped by that left hand.
I said it from the beginning that I was concerned, probably in the 1st round I started saying it, for Maicelo in this fight with Nugaev. Just because I didn't know if he could handle the steady onslaught of pressure. It breaks pipes and it breaks people. And I see that pressure from Nugaev starting to break Maicelo a little bit.
Oh, he just went back from that left hand.
And remember, Nugaev not a big puncher, but a relentless puncher. Guy who's always on you.
12 knockouts in 28 professional fights for Nugaev. Just steady, consistently taking steps forward.
Nugaev is like that neighbor that never leaves, that always comes over your house and there's a mouthpiece being knocked out.
A very convenient mouthpiece hitting the canvas there.
Maicelo's not looking now. They're in the... Not really looking good. His body language is not what you want to see if you're a supporter of his.
Maicelo now showing a spurt here as Nugaev just comes forward trying to meet him punch for punch.
I think I get the feeling this is the last gasp for Maicelo right here. I mean that he's trying to pull everything out. He's looking for a big shot now but he's starting to dissipate. He's starting to evaporate a little bit.
Blood dribbling down the bridge of the nose of the unbeaten Peruvian.
You know those pesky neighbors that come over your house, they never go away, they never stop. You like to get rid of them, you don't know how? Well, I'm sure that's how Maicelo feels about Nugaev right now. Take a look here. Nothing fancy. Nugaev coming forward. Maicelo going back. We said it early, and again, Maicelo going back with his hands down on a straight line. And Nugaev with those long arms, well, he can reach. And that's where those long arms come in handy. You know, with shorter arms, maybe that punch misses. Does not miss there.
Thank you.
Nugaev ready for action is Maicelo taking every cherished second in between rounds. Number 8 scheduled for 10. Maicelo trying to stay unbeaten. Nugaev closing in on him, cutting down that ring. Teddy scorecard as we start off the 8th. He's got the upset brewing here, 68-65. You, the viewer at home, you can go to Facebook, click on live scoring and join in. 4 rounds to 3 for Maicelo.
I think it makes a huge difference when Nugaev goes to the body. A couple rounds ago, he went to the body, and you could see vividly that he hurt Maicelo. But he hasn't gone to the body since then, has not consistently gone to the body, I don't think, quite enough. I think he really would take a lot more steam out of Maicelo if he would go to the body. Also, the other thing I think is very telling is when Nugaev walks in, he should do it behind the jab. Again, watch. You come in with no jab, you give Maicelo a chance to pick you coming in. You pot shot you a little bit. Move, be left alone a little bit. Jab a little bit. But if there's a jab coming in Maicelo, well, that neutralizes all that, takes all that away. Now, most of the landing there is by Nugaev.
Oh! Did he ever land there? Good night, sweet prince. Ain't pretty no more. How about that?
Actually,
Punch destruction.
you know, actually, in all fairness, I'm not saying he would have been able to continue, but we care about saying the truth and saying what we see here. Not what's always convenient, but Maicelo was going to try to get up there, but for whatever reason, Jack Reese decided to push him back down and not let him try to get up. You know, maybe it's something Reese saw in his eyes that we can't see. He's in the ring with him, but if we see the replay, we'll see it. He was going to try to get up. Yes, he went down, he showed that kind of impact, and he laid there for a second. You're allowed to do that as long as you get up before the count of 10. He started to get up, and it was already called off by the referee. But I don't think it would have changed anything, to be honest. I said this from early on in this fight, that I had the distinct feeling from the beginning that it was going to be the kind of fight that Nugaev was just going to evaporate Maicelo like you see a puddle evaporated on a hot summer day.
Sensational knockout punch by Nugaev.
Well, you see right there how it happens. These things happen for a reason. Big looping right hand by Maicelo with his left hand down. Poor technique. Again, left hand down, looping right hand by Maicelo, and Nugaev's in better position to launch the right hand and catch Maicelo before his right hand ever gets close to Nugaev. Again, take another look. Gets in good position, beats him to the mark. Now watch. Let's play this all the way through now. He goes down, let it play. Now watch the, oh, eventually we'll let it play. Now he's on the canvas.
Super slow-mo. And look at the face of Maicelo. One punch knockout. If you're on Twitter, hashtag SCTop10, a Sports Center top 10 nominee. Hard to believe it wouldn't
So
be.
take a look here now. The impact of the punch. He's on the floor. He's been beaten up all night long. There's no doubt about it. He's laying there for a second. You're going to see Jack Reese, the referee. He sees this picture, and he comes in and starts to call the fight off. Now watch. He's laying there. Well, our guys didn't let me see the rest of it. I don't know why, but what I wanted to see was his attempt to get up.
Let's get the official particulars, and for that, we go up to Mark Lichtenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the particulars, one more time for Rustam Nugaev and Jonathan Maicelo put on an unbelievable battle for you tonight. This contest comes to a halt at 2 minutes, 3 seconds of the 8th round. Your winner by knockout, Rustam Mongoose Nugaev.
Now again, the right hand here beats him to the mark. Now watch this. Now it's already been called off by the ref, and the referee pushes him back down and says, no, no, stay there. Relax. Stay there.
Relax.
Take another look. Take another look here. Now I'm not saying he would have won anyway, but watch. He tries to get up. The referee says, no, stay here.
Back in his home country, came in undefeated. Nugaev took care of it. One single right hand, done.